All right, today we are diving deep into the incredible life story of Cristiano Ronaldo. And trust me, it's a journey packed with some of the highest highs you could imagine and some absolutely devastating lows. It's the story of how a footballing legend was made. You know, his life has been called the biggest roller coaster in football history. And that's not just about the trophies and the goals, not at all. It's a story of triumph that was literally forged through immense, almost unbelievable struggle. And that really is the question, isn't it? How does that even happen? To really get who the icon is, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning, to a place where this entire unbelievable story almost never even started. Okay, so our story kicks off in Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo was born on February 5th, 1985, into a life of real, genuine hardship. And I'm not just talking about a tough start. This was a fight for survival right from day one. I mean, just look at this contrast. It really lays the foundation for his entire drive. His family was poor. And when I say poor, I mean sharing a single room, often going without enough food to eat. His only way out, his only escape from all that struggle was football. That sport would go on to completely change his destiny.
So Ronaldo's raw talent was his ticket out. It earned him a shot, an opportunity with the academy at Sporting Lisbon. But it all came down to one final, life-changing trial, a single game that hinged on a single split-second moment.
So here's the setup. A scout tells the kids whoever scores the most goals gets the contract. Simple as that. Late in the game, Ronaldo's teammate, a kid named Albert Fantrau, gets the ball and he's through on an open goal. He could have taken the glory, the contract, everything for himself. But instead, he makes this unbelievable decision and passes the ball. That one selfless act launched Ronaldo's professional career. It was, without a doubt, the moment that changed everything. So his career was just about to explode. We're talking a move to one of the biggest clubs in the entire world. But just as he hits the world stage, his personal life gets struck by a tragedy that would forge the elite mentality he's so famous for today. For a mind-blowing $19 million, Manchester United's legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson signed the teenager. And get this, in a massive show of faith, he immediately hands him the club's iconic number 7 shirt. The legend of Cr7 was officially born. But, you know, it wasn't all smooth sailing. On the field, he was just this raw talent. He was even criticized by some of his own teammates for being selfish, basically just a kid who loved dribbling too much. He had to work his tail off to prove he was more than just a flashy showman. I mean, this was the highest of highs for him. He could finally provide for his family, move them out of poverty for good. But all of that success was completely shattered by a devastating personal tragedy that would reshape him forever. His father, Jose Dinas, passed away from liver issues. And that loss, it just shattered Ronaldo. But out of that immense pain, something new was forged, what we now call his elite mentality. He made a promise right then and there to become the absolute best in the world, not just for himself, but for his family. And that vow, it fueled this obsessive work ethic. He was always the first one to show up at training and the very last one to leave, just relentlessly perfecting every single part of his game. So, driven by this new promise, Ronaldo completely transforms his game. He goes from being a flashy winger to a relentless, unstoppable goal-scoring machine. And just 2 years later, he fulfilled that powerful vow. His 2007-08 season was just legendary. A record-breaking number of goals in the league, a victory in the Champions League, and to top it all off, he won his very first Ballon d'Or. He was, officially, the world's best player. Promise fulfilled. So in 2009, he makes this world record transfer to Real Madrid, and this is where he builds a true football dynasty. The numbers here are just staggering. In 9 seasons, over 450 goals, 4 more Champions Leagues, and 4 more Ballons d'Or. He didn't just play for Madrid, he basically conquered Europe with. But while his club success was absolutely historic, he really struggled to replicate that same magic for his home country, Portugal. His early years as captain were just marked by bitter disappointment. We're talking early exits from major tournaments. The one prize he so desperately wanted always seemed just out of reach. Well, that all changed at Euro 2016. In the final, he's forced off the field with a devastating injury. It looked like it was going to be another heartbreak. But instead of crumbling, he basically becomes a coach on the sidelines, just passionately driving his team to a total surprise victory.
The boy from Madeira had finally led his country to its first ever major trophy.
So after conquering literally everything with Real Madrid, Ronaldo goes looking for new challenges. He's on top of the world. But the road ahead, well, it was filled with some unexpected turbulence, bringing some of the absolute lowest points of his entire career.
A move to Juventus didn't bring him that European glory he craved. And then his emotional return to Manchester United, it just soured dramatically. It was marred by the profound personal tragedy of losing his newborn son, and then a very public, very messy fallout with the club that ended his contract. The roller coaster was definitely in a steep dive.
After a pretty disappointing 2022 World Cup, which, let's be honest, many people thought would be his last dance, Ronaldo shocked the entire footballing world once again, proving his story was far from over. At the start of 2023, he signs this monumental deal with Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. The reported salary? 200 million euros a year. It was a move that absolutely nobody saw coming, taking his career and his brand to an entirely new frontier.
So, from the streets of Portugal to global superstardom, his journey has been unlike any other. He's been the hero, he's been the villain, he's been the comeback king, and he's been the tragic figure. It's this incredible story of relentless ambition, and it leaves us with one final fascinating question to think about.